Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, talking with Sandy Gennaro, and I want to mention our other sponsor, Financial Planning HQ. If you're looking for true financial planning to help you make the best decisions about your money, instead of trying to sell you overly complicated financial products, Financial Planning HQ can focus on creating a comprehensive strategy that gives you and your family the highest probability of achieving your goals. For a complimentary consultation with Joseph Warren from Financial Planning HQ, call 210-748-6699. Welcome back, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Let's talk about the B in BEATS. Stands for belief. Tell us about belief in what?
Belief in a power greater than ourselves at work, in our lives. And I happen to call it a bit of God energy that we have inside. When human beings were born, we were born with a little bit of God energy inside of us. And people refer to it as a soul. And that's, in my estimation, that's what makes all human beings on the same level. Whether you live on a mansion and you're a billionaire or you're a janitor somewhere, everybody deserves the same amount of respect because we have that element of commonality. No matter what country we live in, no matter what color of our skin, no matter what our sexual preferences, no matter what our political preferences, we can all agree to disagree. And everybody has, by nature of definition, if we call ourselves a human being, we have a little bit of that God energy, but we're also given the power of choice, and we're also given the power of free will to choose what we want to believe in, to choose how we want to act, to choose our mental the perception of things that happen to us. So, but a lot of people on this planet, and all you have to do is watch the news, they don't always subscribe to the God energy. When you're in league with the God energy, and to me, in all honesty, in going, being full disclosure, I don't believe that any one particular religion, let me put it this way. It's been said to me by some staunch radical religious people, well, if you don't belong to this religion, you're doomed. And I don't believe in that. I believe that all different religions on this planet all have a figure of a God energy. So to me, it's like having several different routes to the same destination. Mm-hmm. If you're not, to me, the only mistake people make is not believing in a God energy and not being atheistic. And I apologize for any atheists listening to this, but I think that you're doing yourself a you're doing yourself a disservice by not believing in it.
How does believing in the God energy help you beat the odds in life?
Because believing in a God energy, you're basically aligning yourself with the power that created the universe. So if having that power in your corner, behind you, supporting you, because when you believe in it, it believes in you. Well, it believes in you whether you believe in it or not. The Lord, and when you align with that, it's like, in my business, Todd, I get off the road with Cyndi Lauper, for example, playing arenas for a whole year and a half. And I look at my calendar when I get home, the first day home, and my calendar is empty. So it takes it, where's the next gig going to come from? I don't have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. So to me, belief in a God energy is like putting the address. I have a goal in mind. Yes, I want to do this. I want to be on this stage. I want another big gig. You put that in your little GPS, and then you press enter. And you don't know the destination you're going to be led, and the people that are going to come into your path, and the ideas that you're going to get that you follow up on, and it turns out to be your connection to the next gig. Those ideas are positive ideas. Those people that come into your path in order to help you come from that God energy. To me, God is a spirit. It's not it's a spirit within us, and it's a spirit that surrounds us with ideas, good coming from the God energy. The more you don't know the path the GPS is going to
Right.
take you. I don't know what's going to happen. I never thought I was going to be a speaker. I just got back from Malaysia speaking to 400 executives. I had no idea that was going to happen, but it's because of my positivity and because of my wanting a person in a wheelchair at a concert in San Diego, and I wanted to put a smile on her face. Out of 20,000 people, I picked this woman in a wheelchair to get my drumstick after my drum solo. And I'm not going to go into the full story, but throwing a drumstick, wanting to make that woman happy, and wanting to put a smile on that woman's face, led to my speaking career.
Oh,
I
that
have
was
a whole new career after I'm still playing drums, and I'll always, drumming is who I am. It's not what I do. And I'll always do that, and I'll always be able to teach that, and I'll always play in a rock band, which I do right now. But speaking is my career now. Speaking allowed me to tell my wife, you can stop working. It allowed me to do this or to do that. I have another career at 72 years old.
that's
And
awesome.
I had no idea. I had no idea when I played that concert in San Diego, when I threw the drumstick to the handicapped person. I had no idea what I was going to be when I wanted to come off the road. I had no idea. It puts people and ideas in your path, but you can't just believe and sit on the couch and wait for good things to happen. You got to be proactive about it, and you have to profess. That's why I love sharing these ideas with other people. And if you asked me 10 years ago, Sandy, you're going to be on stage in front of 800 CEOs and in a Vistage Chair World conference, people from all over the world are going to hear you speak and give you a standing ovation. I'm going to go, what are you, tripping? What are you taking that mescaline? You eating those mushrooms again? But that's what happened. I'm sitting here just as amazed as the next person. So I use my own life as an example. And
So you mentioned your
go ahead.
your positivity is the next letter is enthusiasm. Is that what you're talking about?
That's correct. It's positivity and being enthusiastic about events that haven't happened yet. In other words, future events in my life. When I looked at the calendar the day after I get home from a tour and my calendar is empty, I could think, oh, I can have the negative, the negative mindset where, where am I going to get? I'm never going to do that again. I was on, there's a negative, but I didn't say that to myself. It's being enthusiastic. I looked at my calendar. I go, I can't wait for the next gig. I wonder what the next gig is going to be. It's like looking at presents underneath the Christmas tree at 5 a.m. when you're 6 years old and you get up before your parents and you see all the presents underneath the dark Christmas tree. You don't know what's in those boxes, but it's going to be really cool to be able to rip open those boxes. So that's the way I look at the future, Todd. I look at the future like, okay, let's see what's going to happen, but in a positive mindset. So we as human beings were given the power of choice of how to think about future events. And you can choose the glass is half empty, or you can choose the glass is half full, to use a well-worn cliche.
And so that's attitude then, right? The next letter, A?
Attitude is the way you think. Attitude is we have control. It's basically the way we think is the only thing we really have control over, is how we think in our own mind when we're on our pillow at night falling asleep. How we think, we have control of what we think. And we should, and I'm not saying that all positive thoughts come into my mind 100% positive. No, everybody is inundated. You know why? Because the enemy is at work in our lives as well as the God energy.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy is wanting to pull us away from the God energy with temptation, with negative thoughts. But we have to have a thought police. We have to have I look at my thought process with the monitor, and if there's a negative thought coming in my mind, sometimes it's not easy, but I just hit the eject button, or I highlight and delete, or I go to the next channel on the remote. I don't try to entertain. You don't try to entertain negative thoughts, because when you entertain thoughts and you think about them often, and especially when you verbalize a negative thought to another person, it becomes very powerful. The more often you think about it, it's like watering a bad seed, and you watering and sunshine, the seed's going to manifest. So you got to be careful of what you think and how often you think it, because your thoughts turn into words, your words turn into action, your action makes up your personality. The way you act makes up your personality, and your personality is the way people perceive you. And you mentioned our little intro, legacy. Well, the way people perceive you becomes our legacy.
Yeah.
And after we're pushing up daisies, when we're pushing up daisies, or we're in an urn on a mantelpiece somewhere, that's how people are going to perceive us, is basically how we made them feel when we crossed their path. How did you make the person at the grocery store feel when he or she was checking out the groceries? Did you engage them? Were you rude to them? Did you make their day better? Or did you put a little ray of sunshine in the day by having a little quip or making a little joke about the groceries you're buying or whatever?
And so just the opposite of that, focusing on what you really do want, that can help manifest it as well, right?
Absolutely. It's having affirmations. It's using visualization. When you think about a future event, you visualize it in your own mind like you want it to occur. It's like you're programming the future by concentrating and visualizing the event that you want, and using enthusiasm. When you think about a result of an upcoming project or an upcoming family vacation or whatever an upcoming event is in your life that you want a successful result, well, then visualize that successful result, and also summon up the enthusiasm as if that result actually occurs. So you receive a result of a future situation in spirit. You receive it in spirit. You internally receive it, and then the God energy puts the puzzle pieces together and gives you ideas and puts people in your path in order to help you achieve what you want to do.
And
I put a picture of a drummer playing in front of thousands of people on my bathroom mirror when I was 14. And I said to myself every single day, that's going to be you, Sandy. Not maybe, not if the chips fall, or, hey, well, let's see what happens. Well, if I get lucky, no, it's I am. Not I hope, I am. And I looked at that picture, and I even sometimes verbalized it audibly. That's going to be you, Sandy.
Awesome.
That's going to be you. That's going to be you. I had no idea how. I had no idea what the plan was, who was going to meet, who was I going to meet, but it happened. And it happened multiple times, and it happened in a really, really big way.
And people can read about it in your book called Beat the Odds in Business and Life. Buy it from Sandy's website, www.sandygennaro.com. That's sandygennaro.com. Get the book. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.